Hey, everybody. It is Paul Fontaine alongside Jeff Hawkins, Dirty Dan, the Music Man, and Seb here with episode 7 already. Lucky 7 of the Music Nerds podcast. And I want to thank everybody for listening and watching. We got a big show today, the quickest hour in podcasting. We're going to talk about Pink's first 2 albums. We're going to talk about Frank Beard, who unfortunately left us this past week. For those that don't know, the one of the 3 primary members of ZZ Top. And as well, if we get some time, we'll hit on my 1976 top albums and songs that make us emotional. I think maybe we'll even hit that before the 1976 albums, because that's a fun one. That was from a listener, I think, right? Was it Mona?
It was her best friend, Syra.
Right. Syra, right? Yeah, new subscriber. Yeah. So, which reminds me, if you're watching and or listening, make sure to subscribe. It helps us out. If we get to a certain amount of subscribers, I think we can actually take super chats. So that'd be cool.
Everybody should watch about 10 times as well, just to get
there you go. But yeah, we're getting good reception. So I want to thank everybody. The last week was our highest listened and viewed show since the debut. But we're gonna. Jeff, you got a thought? It looks like you're no.
Week 7, and Paul has learned the art of the hard sell.
Hey,
give him a round of applause.
What can you do? I've only been doing this for 5 years. We're going to start off with Pink, and so we were our homework was to listen to the first 2 albums by Pink, which were I always forget the name of the first one. I know the second one is Misunderstood.
Can't Take Me Home.
Yeah, Take Me Home. Yeah.
Take Me Home.
There you go. Jeff, you said this. I think it was you. Oh, you have them both. Okay.
I do.
You said this, and I should have taken the advice, because I really should do this closer to when we record, because I listened to these, I think, on Monday. Yeah, it was Monday and Tuesday. So it's already, I couldn't even remember the name of the title, but I do remember the albums, and I've heard most of the tracks on Misunderstood before. The first Can't Take Me Home was kind of almost new for me, and I will say, like, I liked Can't Take Me Home. I didn't like it as much as Misunderstood, but I really did like it. But the funny thing is like, I hear so many influences on the different tracks in this song. I'm hearing I've mentioned before TLC. I'm hearing like Destiny's Child. That the song Most Girls, which I think was the biggest hit on the thing. That one, like, I always thought the name of that song was Real Love. And for some reason I thought it was by Crystal Waters, which I think Crystal Waters has a song called Real Love, and in my mind I just mixed the 2 songs up, even though they don't really sound anything alike. And then there's a song late on the album. I want to say it might be Stop Falling. Or maybe Is It Love?
I think Is It Love. That was a very popular one. Is It Love? If I remember correctly.
Sounds like Mariah Carey. Yeah. Like I would have thought it was Mariah Carey, like, without knowing it was Pink. But what I don't hear anywhere on this album is Pink. Like, so that's my takeaway from the first album. And then the second one was just, for me, like, that's where she just kind of, the sound we all kind of know is when she kind of started developing it. And it's like just songs that you're hearing her voice, and you're hearing her words, and even the music is different. So like, that to me was the big difference. Like, they're 2, like, I can't believe these 2 albums were done by the same person and only a year apart, because to me they sound like 2 completely different generations of music. One is like the 90s, and one is like pretty like current, like not like 2020s. But I thought the second album, could have been done like 10 years ago, like, in my opinion. But
the best part about that, Paul, is they're only like a year apart.
Yeah, like it's
just crazy to even say that. And I had both albums, but I had them on, I just showed you guys the CDs, but I mean, the first one was more of like, I guess I had more like R&B and pop on there, but like the second one, the Misunderstood, was kind of like a mix of like pop, rock, and alternative. Like, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I got some notes what I was saying. And the first one, they kind of just said was like very early 2000s R&B, and it kind of felt like every other record that you heard basically in that era. So
you
she
say
was
late 2000s. I'd even go like more
no
90s.
early 2000s, yeah, early 2000s, and very
Yeah.
early 2000s, I would say, but yeah, probably like 1999 maybe. um and yeah, I mean, it just like sounded like everything that was also trying to get out at that time too. Everyone was trying to make their difference and stuff like that, but everything just all sounded the same. And the two big songs on there were the two that you actually meant. Well, you mentioned three of them, which I really liked. Like those as well. But there was let me read my
You Make
my
Me
thing
Sick.
here. Yeah, You Make Me Sick. And I think her debut song was There You Go.
Yeah.
On there. So if I remember correctly, and it actually has like a little asterisk on the CD that I'm looking at here. Most Girls, There You Go, You Make Me Sick. Three very popular songs on there. And then you're right, Is It Love was the one that definitely didn't sound like Pink at all. Then she kind of changed up her music a little bit, and on the Misunderstood, don't let me get me, which is the one where she started getting a little like angsty, I guess, as they call it, maybe. Right. That was a good one. Get the Party Started, which is a fun song. I think a lot of people like that song as well. And there was two songs on there which kind of shocked me a little bit. One of them was called Respect, and I was totally expecting like the whole RESPECT and blah blah blah, and like I didn't get that. I was like, well, no, that's not the Respect I was thinking. But there was another song that I really liked in there called Gone to California, and that song sounded more like a blues type of song. And I was like, oh, I'm like, this is an interesting song. I don't remember this song a lot. So it was definitely, an interesting, transition from Pink to one to another, even though I kind of felt like both albums sounded similar, but they were also different in the same way. And I think the only reason why I think they found it sounded similar was because of the whole pop theme going on there. And she definitely she definitely went ahead and turned more into rock, I think, after that. So, yeah.
Seb, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so an interesting thing, you said that it sounds like it's two different artists, and I compare it to the early Alanis stuff, which Paul, you're definitely more familiar with than Jeff or Dan would be. But early Alanis, I was probably the only person in the world who had her first two CDs. So
too hot.
Yeah, always too hot, never too cold. So she had just complete pop sound, and she's never really acknowledged the existence of those CDs since they came out. And then she comes out with Jagged Little Pill. It's completely different genre. It absolutely destroys sales records, and she completely was the queen of women's rock in the 90s. And so Pink had a very similar type of transition from one genre to the next, where it was very, very different. So I found that very interesting. Now, in terms of the songs, there was one song that I thought sounded like Pink, which was Stop Falling from Can't Take Me Home.
From the first one, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and she had the Pink style runs that she does, and she was actually singing like Pink. But the rest of the album, she was completely unrecognizable for.
That is one of the songs she wrote on the album. She wrote looks like about half of them. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and so the other thing with the comparison to TLC, I love TLC. I'm such like as a kid, I would.
I was going to ask you about that because I know you're a big fan of TLC. And did you see that? Did you hear that?
There You Go was basically a ripoff of No Scrubs. Okay. It was completely the acoustic guitar at the start. It was. And even just the rhythm of the song, it just sounded exactly like No Scrubs. I still like the song because obviously it's
like You Make Me Sick is like a Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, like that. It sounds like something one of them could have done. And then she responds to that in the second album by saying, I'm tired of being compared to damn Britney Spears.
Yeah, and it's very evident why she was on Lady Marmalade as well, because she sounds exactly like the artists of that era. So she was working with Christina Aguilera and Maya and Little Kim, and so it was very interesting to see her progression. And then Misunderstood, I'm going to throw a dad joke out, so I apologize to everybody, but I think that the album should have been called Alicia Less Is More, because it was a little too long. It was, I think, if it was like an AEW pay-per-view, you cut a couple of songs out of there. And
You're striking nerves now.
That's fine. I'm not
55-12 though. That's a long album.
It was. I thought it would have been a great 10-song album. I still like all-time classics, so I actually really enjoy Pink. Just for the record, if it sounds like I'm not enjoying her, I think she's a fantastic artist.
18 Wheeler's one we haven't mentioned, and that's one she still plays.
I do actually. I love that song. I actually made a note that I love that song a lot. It was. I've heard this album before in its entirety, and so I had heard it, but it's probably been 2 decades because we're all old.
Wow.
So it's been a long time since I've heard every track. And Family Portrait it's not the emotional song that I picked, so it's not the one that I'm going to talk about later, but as somebody who was divorced a couple of years ago, that song really resonated with me because I have 2 daughters, and it's a track about a family splitting apart and the fear of not having your family in your life, or your dad maybe not being around as much. That's not the case with me. I see my kids all the time, and so do everything I can with them. But when it was happening, that actually was sort of the soundtrack of my life when I was going through it. So I absolutely enjoyed the album. I thought a couple of tracks could be cut. She also had a great song with Steven Tyler, which was fantastic. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. If they had just cut 2 or 3 tracks, I think it would have been a perfect album.
Awesome. All right. What about you, Jeff?
You are incorrect, by the way, Paul. Pink, Alicia Pink Moore, which I had to look that up to get the dad joke said. That was very good. Has partial writing credit on only 1 track on Can't Take Me Home. And that's the first one, Split Personality.
I'm looking at the list right now, and
I'm looking at Wikipedia.
So am I. Look again, Jeff. There you go. There you go. Moore. First name.
Moore. Oh, okay. I'm missing. Okay. It didn't list the entire. Okay. See, I'm expecting Pink and not Moore there.
No. Yeah.
Well.
Interesting.
Okay.
Robin Thicke wrote one of these songs.
Yeah. Look, this thing was made. This first album was made in a lab. Yeah. And it was R&B and dance. And most of you are, most of the things that you guys said about this were correct. It could have been any singer plucked into this thing. I also think there was a bit of a push, and I don't remember this, but I think there was a push to kind of market Pink as biracial, if I remember that. Not necessarily it being true, but to market it that way so that she'd be a crossover artist.
Yeah.
Because that reminds me of a point I wanted to make and I forgot. I thought in the first album she sounds like a Wigger, and in the second album
you can't use that term, Paul.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I was just shocked to hear that.
Can't I? Why not? What's wrong with that term? Okay, a white girl pretending to be black. All right,
there we go.
All right, like Star Davis. If I'm probably the only person in the world that watched Star, but like Nikita Lyons,
a little Tina Marie, perhaps.
Yeah. But in the second one, she's just Pink, like she's
Yeah. But in pro wrestling parlance, since we're all fans, she's miscast. She needed a gimmick change.
Yeah.
And look, this once she got out of the tightly controlled R&B lane. My problem with Misunderstood is kind of Seb's as well. It's a little bit too long, but it's also, we kind of talked about this a little bit with Lauryn Hill. This is the album where I get to show my range in everything I can do. And she decided to show everything she can do. And it's a great album, and Linda Perry can write a great song, and she went on to write Beautiful by Christina Aguilera right after this, and that's a fantastic song in my opinion. But it's a little, in the best parlance I can put it, schizophrenic, because she's trying to show that she's all things to all people. She has a little bit of rock, she does the I don't want to be compared to Britney Spears thing, and then here's 2 dance pop songs right after that, guys.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And what is it? The I'm trying to think of the name of the pill. Just Like a Pill sounds very Alanis-y to me.
Little, yeah.
Right after Jagged Little Pill, sort of. But it's I want to be all things, all people. Here's my range demo tape for everybody. But no, it's good. I also have a short fuse, so to speak, with entertainment art that complains about the entertainment industry and how hard it is. And my general, and this is also just from being in it for a while, you kind of want to say, go be an accountant. You know what you signed up for. And I mean that with classic art that frowns on the entertainment industry and how hard it is, and you're a product and all these, and you know, her kind of complaining about L.A. Reid is I just like, she was just miscast. It's not his fault. That's what everybody was doing at the time. You can't trash a guy for trying to make you a pop star. And
well, you can trash him first if it's true, for saying, you know, just change everything you are and you'll be fine.
Like, that's in the entertainment industry, though, Paul. That's a lot of it, to be honest.
I've had the song "Pop Singer" by John Cougar Mellencamp going through my head all weekend for some reason, and that's like exactly what you're talking about. You know that one?
Yeah, but
never wanted to be no pop singer, never wanted to write no pop song. Never want to have a manager over for dinner.
Yeah, they were trying to make her a hit machine with this entire. I mean, she had a murderer's row of producers and writers on that "Can't Take Me Home." You can't fault them for that necessarily.
And to be fair, it worked.
Yes,
it worked.
She had
three
hits out of that album. And by the way,
3 hits. It was a top 20 album.
"Stop Falling" is an outstanding song.
I like the whole album, but it's not Pink, you know, and she doesn't play any of those songs anymore.
But she also, concerts. In some way, she also didn't have. I mean, she was part of a girl group going solo. She didn't have the capital to say, "I want to do a Pink album." You kind of had to do it, and then that album then made that. And look, it was all the right choices for her. Sometimes these things blow up in your face.
The second one, the second one?
Yeah, Misunderstood.
Okay.
It was the smart gambit. You know, she burned all her bridges, which wasn't.
Did the Moulin Rouge song come between these 2 albums, or was it before Take Me Home? Does anybody know? I think it was between, right?
I think it was in between. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to look it up right now, actually.
Okay. Because I mean, the amazing thing, and I may have mentioned this last week, like I just, in my brain, I have a hard time fathoming that's the same person that was in that.
Yes.
That
2001.
Yeah,
2001.
It was a complete gimmick change. It was It was Steve Austin from the Ringmaster to Stone Cold.
Well, or you know, like Mean Mark Callis to the Undertaker. You know,
yes, it was night and day, and then she became a rock chick because, like, in the next album, she has Trouble and a lot of thrashing guitars and other things. I mean,
you know who else did this was Kelly Clarkson. Remember when she shed her image for one and just did a total rock album, and it was freaking awesome, and then she just went back to being Kelly Clarkson. But I can't remember which album it was, but it was because she had the whole thing where she wouldn't show her midriff in videos and stuff like that. Like it was you know, and then all of a sudden she just became like this rock chick, and then and then she went back to what she was doing. But I'm glad we listened to these 2 albums. I'm a huge Pink fan. She's, I mean, top 5 for me in the 2020s, I think, or in the 2000s. I mean, like she's Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, Bruno Mars. You know, like I struggle to find a 5th, probably Jelly Roll maybe. I know. I'm sorry. I'm the one. So and I'm glad we all kind of are on the same picture, that it was, almost like 2 separate artists. And I really like the Alanis comparison there. There's probably other people like that, but that was a pretty obvious one. So as well, this past week, we lost, I don't remember what day it was, Wednesday or Thursday maybe, Frank Beard. who formerly of ZZ Top. Ironically, of course, as everyone's mentioned a million times this week,
August 17th. It was actually last Monday.
Last Monday, okay.
Yeah, it was
just the day we recorded.
Yeah.
It's the same day Elvis died, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Wow.
Maybe 16th. I'm almost positive.
I don't have that one written down on my 17th. Calendar.
It's a weird one. I remember because I was at my grandparents' place celebrating my grandma's anniversary when I heard that he died, and her birthday was either the 15th or the 16th. So, yeah, and ironically, the of the three of them, he was the one without the beard, which is always funny. And for some reason, I always thought the two guys with beards were brothers, but that's not true either, right? Dusty Hill and who's the third?
Billy Gibbons.
Billy Gibbons, right. Yeah, and is it Dusty or Billy that's still alive? One of them. It's
Billy.
Billy,
the guy who usually does the.
He's a guitar, right? The guitarist.
Yeah, guitarist, guitar/lead singer.
So right after, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, Jeff had mentioned that just some random comment he threw into our group podcast chat about Tres Hombres, which was their third album, I believe. And
I think it's their second. I think the ZZ Top, I think it's their official second. Don't quote me on that though. But like, I thought it was their first actually, and then you go back and it's like the ZZ Top's first album is named ZZ Top's first album.
Yes. Okay. Second one, Rio Grande Mud, and the third one is Tres Hombres. Yep.
Okay.
So Mona confirms Elvis died on the 16th.
Yeah. And so Trace makes sense. Trace makes sense because Trace probably means three in another language.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Yeah. And that was the album I was reading up on Wikipedia. That was when they started using Spanish terms in their songs and their album titles. So so you had mentioned that album and you were listening to it, and I can't remember the exact comment you made, but you're like, it's perfectly acceptable, or like it's
straight ahead Texas blues rock, I think is how I put it.
It's great. Like
it is, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's 50 years ago, and it's timeless.
I'm not somebody who sits down and listens to albums, especially because ZZ Top is one of those radio bands where like all their songs are somehow on there, but you've never sat down and listened to an album. But this album is awesome, and I think, oddly enough, I think when I posted the comment, I think ZZ Top gets kind of dragged a little bit for really their hot peak between that 83 and 85 with Eliminator and Afterburner, with the red car and the music videos with the pretty girls. They get
the same song like 5 times in a row. You know, like the same song in the same video.
They get dismissed as like strip club rock.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And no, man, this like just the start of this album with Waiting for the Bus and Jesus Just Left Chicago is
our friend
awesome.
David led off his show on Friday with that on his Pick and Mix show, and that album, I think it was not, he didn't lead it off, but that song is great. Oh my god, like I didn't recognize the title, but then as soon as the song started, it was like, I
had never heard the lyrics to Waiting for the Bus. I had just remembered the Have Mercy beat, and I had never listened to the lyrics of that. But I mean, then you get into Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers, and you realize Dusty Hill has a hell of a voice too.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I took from it. And my other takeaway from this, because I swear to you, in 1976, Lynyrd Skynyrd was probably listening to this, because Master of Sparks sounds like Mr. Saturday Night Special, and Precious and Grace, the beat to that sounds a lot like Gimme Back My Bullets. It really does. And
so here's one that'll blow you away. And you guys, you might even be able to do this while you're on here, if any of you are on a computer and the audio isn't going to be shared. Fire up Keep Yourself Alive by Queen and listen to the first 30 seconds of that and tell me it doesn't sound exactly like it could have been on Tres Hombres. It's amazing, because I heard that's the song that kicked off the Pick and Mix, or no, it kicked off one of David's shows this past week, and I'm listening to it. It's like, oh my god, this sounds like ZZ Top. And for those of you that may only be familiar with their big hits in the 80s, which is when they really blew up, like ZZ Top sounds completely different from the songs you know, from like Legs and
Mhm.
Sharp Dressed
Dressed
Man,
Yep.
and you know, like it's a completely different, like stuff like Tush and Lagrange, and like it's their catalog is just
You're
so
right,
good.
Paul. It's a very driving guitar type of beat
Yeah,
type
yeah.
thing,
And
with
I
no
googled it
bass
to
and
see
no
like
drum.
you know, similarities, and a lot of people pointed it out. It's like a 4/4-3/3 like tempo or something that they talk about. Then as soon as the vocals kick in, then it's different, because Freddie is,
Yes.
you can't touch
It's
that.
operatic, and
Yeah.
and he's very into what Freddie does.
What's
yeah.
funny
Yes.
about the songs that you mentioned is, you know, with Frank Beard, they said his specialty is a Texas shuffle, and it's one of the defining characteristics of ZZ Top's early music was his shuffle playing. So they said on all the songs you mentioned, it was part of his shuffle playing. So I was like, oh well, that's interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Frank
Waiting
Beard
for the
on
Bus
drums
is
isn't-
one of their
go
most
ahead.
popular songs too, that they play on their shows to the like, well, I was gonna say to this day, I guess not anymore, but maybe Billy's still playing them. I don't know. He's probably still got the band going, right?
And Frank Beard's not doing anything difficult on drums. I mean, it's almost a Ringo type of situation back
Hey.
there, where he's just kind of keeping, and there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Charlie Watts,
Like,
baby.
Let the guitar and the bass do their thing.
Yeah. Charlie Watts is like the best. Like he'll be doing this to like 20 years after he's dead. He's still going to be touring with the Stones. They'll just put that metronome up there and the corpse of Charlie Watts.
I should be playing jazz right now, but instead I'm doing this stuff.
Yeah. My great grandkids are watching. So did Dan or Seb, did either of you listen to any ZZ this week?
God, so.
Yeah. So
It wasn't official homework.
I don't really know ZZ Top,
Okay.
or ZZ Top as it should be called, because the early introduction I had to them was Guitar Hero, where Lagrange was on, and which is a fantastic track. But going back, there was a lot of songs that they did. I knew Sharp Dressed Man and Legs, but they did have a lot of songs that I recognized, because I've never sat down in my life and listened to them. But they did have a lot of songs that I just didn't realize were ZZ Top. So,
well, if you have some time, give you, and this to all the listeners too, like give Tres Omblers a listen, because you won't be disappointed. It's very, like, I can't imagine, if you like music, you're probably gonna like this album. Like, it's not like I don't know anybody that wouldn't like this kind of music, in my opinion. Like, there's different genres we don't
blues,
like, but
like Texas blues, country blues, southern rock blues, whatever, those type.
But it's still like, it's not like totally that. Like, it's very accessible, I guess. Is a good way to put it. I don't know, because I don't want to say, like, there's people that don't like Skynyrd, or
it's okay, but it is different than, say, something like Sharp Dressed Man, or
right?
Lovin', which is prelude, chorus.
It's more like 38
verse,
Special,
chorus,
JJ Giles Band, like that sort of stuff. Which is very radio friendly. And this is too. I mean, like Jeff said, like a lot of these tracks, like they weren't even singles, but you hear them on the radio today. Like, and you probably will be in 50 years from now. Like, they're just timeless classics. So, but yeah, I mean, and they were around obviously a long time. I had to think Beard, I'm guessing, is probably like 75, 75, 80, somewhere in there.
I think they said 77 when he died.
77. Okay, there you go.
That is
right in that range.
Correct.
Yeah, good run. I'm sure he would have taken that in 1976. You said you're going to be around in 2026. You'd be like, all right, all right. As Dan likes to say. What about, did you get a chance to listen to any ZZ, Dan?
I did not this week. I mean, I guess such a busy week, but I've listened to them so much in the past before. My dad used to have a bunch of their records that got ruined in the flood, unfortunately. So he never replaced them.
Have you ever owned any ZZ?
I might have one back there. I don't even know. I gotta look. I don't even know.
I'm sure I got Eliminator from the Columbia Record and Tape Club.
Yeah, that was the one that my dad I know definitely had was Eliminator. I remember that one. I don't remember the other ones, so what he had. But if I don't have them on record, I definitely have them on CD. I'm still disappointed I didn't get to see them with Aerosmith. I remember I told you guys about that last week. Yeah, I'm disappointed I didn't get to see them with Aerosmith. I was hoping maybe between then and now, I would have been able to get to see them, but no, just so.
I'm with you, because I almost went in on tickets. They were going to play the Hollywood Bowl on August 6th, and they canceled it.
awesome. Hollywood Bowl was so awesome too.
Due to Frank Beard's health, that he died 11 days later. I'm just like,
I don't think I've ever seen them live, but it is one that I would have liked to have seen. So it's unfortunate that that he's no longer with us, but their music lives on.
Rock and Roll Hall of Famers can't
Are they?
get any higher than that. Oh yeah.
Oh, how many of you have been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I have not.
Oh, I have.
Sadly,
once.
I have not.
Once. Well, actually, technically twice. The one time I went, it was closed, and then the second, because it was like, I go, and it's on a Friday, and they're like, "Oh, we're closing in 15 minutes." I go, on a Friday night? It's like 4:00 and you're closing? And then we went maybe, I think, like on a Monday, I think a few days later, and it was awesome. There's so much to see there, though.
That's Cleveland for you.
Yep,
Closing at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that's Cleveland for you. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a very small city too. Yeah,
Cleveland rocks. That's like my favorite every single year is watching that ceremony. But I always forget, who I've seen and who I haven't seen. All right, so I guess I don't know, unless we got anything else we want to add about ZZ, we can get into the emotional songs. And so
I don't think that was part of our homework.
It wasn't.
It wasn't homework. It was something that somebody threw in.
We did have something else as part of our homework.
We had misunderstood songs.
It might have been in the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that too. We got time. We still got a half an hour. But
skip the rest of the homework.
Paul.
What? What do you
Paul
mean?
wants to get to his emotional songs, so we're going to talk emotional songs.
Okay, let's do the misunderstood songs. No.
I can go on the fly. I just have to think about 2 or 3 emotional songs first, given that I have no emotions.
So I had one in the holster, and then when Seb was talking, it reminded me of one, and it is a very specific version of the song, and it is. Oh God, I have to Google this. Me.
Wait, you had one in the holster and you can't remember it.
No, I'll tell you the one I have in the holster.
Okay,
it's Beautiful Things by Benson Boone. And when I first heard that song, and it's literally the first time. And normally when I hear a song for the first time, I don't really clue into the lyrics. I'm more kind of listening just to the melody and the tempo and, just trying to see if I like the song or not. And for whatever reason, the first time I heard this song, I was just listening to his lyrics. And I just felt like I could sing this song and I could express the emotions that he's expressing in this song. And he's just talking about basically all, thank God for everything I have. And that's how I felt. That was just at that time in my life. I just felt like I was so lucky to have, a nice home, a beautiful family, and, just all the things that I have, and God, don't take them away. So I just kind of I identified with what he was singing and saying in the song. So when I would hear the song, I would get tears of joy. The one that makes me bawl, and every time I hear it, I can't not, is Kelly Clarkson's performance of Piece by Piece that she did on American Idol. And you can Google it. And if you just say Kelly Clarkson, Piece by Piece, American Idol, and Keith Urban was one of the judges. And this was she was a guest. So she wasn't a competitor, but she's watching. He's got tears streaming down his face. Kelly can't get through the song without crying. It's in a very emotional song, and it's about her relationship with her father and how it affected her relationship with men, and how she finally met a man that treats her like a man should treat a lady, as opposed to her dad, who treated her and her mom terribly. And it just reminded me of my own life, and not only that, but my relationship with my daughter, which is really good, but my relationship with my mom wasn't always good, and my relationship with my dad was definitely not. And so it just hits me, and I can't listen to it and not cry. I hear the song and the tears just pour. And so yeah, for me, that's the one. and Mona's agrees. She watched that one, and yeah, it's a tearjerker. Like, and I don't even know if it's trying to be. And for those listening on podcast, we mentioned the shirt. Dan's wearing a Beavis and Butthead shirt. So there you go.
Nice.
So Jeff, you said you can do it on the fly. What do you got?
I'll give you 3 songs here, and I won't. Puff the Magic Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Makes me very sad.
The Peter, Paul, and Mary version, or okay. And why is that?
The loss of childhood, growing up.
Okay.
It's about a kid who leaves his imaginary friend, Paul.
Another good one like that is Lost Boy.
Okay.
By Ruthie B, if you want to listen to that one.
Sure, I don't like being depressed all that often.
Fair enough.
There's another song came out in the mid-90s by artist by name Ebba Forsberg called Lost Count. She was the first artist signed to Madonna's Maverick label, and VH1 played this song constantly, and it's a beautiful song, but it's about how somebody screws up their own relationships. I mean, the entire chorus is like, made my life a mess, can't put the blame on no one but myself, lost hope, lost faith, so many times I lost count. And my third one is a Canadian artist, so you two get prepared. One that I've mentioned before, liking Sass Jordan.
Oh yeah.
You Don't Have to Remind Me, which is a song about heartbreak. Yeah, when you say emotional song, I assume sad, so I'm going with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you there's different kinds of emotions, right?
Oh yeah, well there are, I guess. I mean, like if you want a song that makes me happy every time I hear it, it's I Can See Clearly by Johnny Nash.
Lovely Day is one that makes me happy. Me and my daughter, she hears the song, as soon as the song starts, she just starts laughing and smiling. Bill Withers. Yeah. Seb, what about you?
So I mentioned Pink earlier, and that's definitely one. Another emotional song, and this is not the one that I was going with, but I was just reminded of it. The Energy by Audio Vent, which is a breakup song. So definitely check that one out after.
Just reminded me of one. I'll wait till you're done.
Yeah. But my pick is, so I love Dolly Parton. I also kind of hate Dolly Parton because she just gets me in the feels so much. And it's hard to explain because I'm not a country guy at all, but that old country like Johnny Cash and Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton just always gets me. So the song is Me and Little Andy by Dolly Parton. And Paul, you mentioned last week that your sister had put makeup on your records and sisters like to torture you and whatnot. So just going to shout out my sisters, Rita and Mary. They used to play the song for me. I was probably about 3 years old. And this is the only song that's ever made me cry in my life. And they used to put it on just because every time it was on, I would cry. And it's about it was the worst, but
hey, come here, let's make Seth cry.
Yes.
I can imagine them taking you like to a bar and just
every time.
If it's on the jukebox, just putting a 20 in there, just repeat. Watch this, guys. It would be lots of fun.
It would be the greatest rib of all time, to be fair. So I wouldn't hate it. So
you know what song Dan's putting on the podcast,
right? He has to now. I don't think it's an option. But the lyrics on the song, it's "Ain't you got no gingerbread? Ain't you got no candy? Ain't you got an extra bed for me and little Andy?" And I think that everyone should experience the song, so I won't say what happens. It's about a girl and her dog, so definitely listen to it. The saddest song ever written, as far as I'm concerned. And I listened to it right before the show, and I put it, in a group chat. Just destroys you, absolutely wrecks you. So, and the way that Dolly sings it, it's just so. That is my pick for the emotional song.
Okay, so we'll get to Dan in a second, but you reminded me of I have these vivid memories of right after. So I had this girl that I took to the Red River X, and this girl was way out of my league, and for whatever reason she agreed to go with me, and then the date didn't go well for various reasons, and I get back to work the next day, and Air Supply's "I'm All Out of Love" starts playing. I lost it, and I swear, like for the next 10 years, like long after I was married, every time that song would come on, I was taken back to that point when I was 17 years old, and I would literally just start crying. And then the other one that I just thought of, and this honestly maybe should have been my number one, was Tim McGraw's "Don't Take the Girl" as one, but that's not the one. It was "Live Like You Were Dying." So I was on my way to have coffee with my friend who I hadn't seen in a few years, and I heard the song, and I liked it. Like, it was maybe the first time I'd heard it. And then I went and had coffee with my friend, and turns out he's like, this was in the early 2000s, and he's or maybe mid 2000s, doesn't matter. He's about 3 years younger than me at the time, so he's in his mid to late 20s, and he just found out he had stomach cancer. And the doctors, and it's progressed, because when he first went into the doctor, they thought it was indigestion, they thought it was this, that was that, and then by the time they diagnosed him with cancer, like he said, he's probably doesn't have much time. And so he's talking to me, and he's thinking like he's got like 6 months to live maybe, and he ended up going about a year. And then I got back in my car after we were done, and that song played again on my way home, and I lost it. Because every time I hear that song, actually it's maybe not now, but for probably 15 years after, I thought of my friend Chris every time. And and he was a good friend of Doug's too. Dan, you know Doug. The three of us started the BWF. Which for those that don't know, which is everybody, it was an e-wrestling fed that we started. That wasn't even e-wrestling at the time. It was literally on paper. It was like Dungeons and Dragons, and then we brought it to online, and then we ended up. That's how we met Dan, and Dan had his own e-fed, which was called the NIWF. And we essentially merged them together, and Dan and I became friends. And
you could say, Jeff, what a bunch of dorks.
Yeah.
No, I used to do that too, but this is emotional songs.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, because I was trying to reference Dan, because
I got you.
And so that remember that. So Dan,
I'm on an emotional roller coaster right now with your stories, Paul.
Sorry, man. But yeah, rest in peace, Chris Boyd. Dan, what about you?
I'm gonna choose 2 saddish songs for me and 2 happy songs for me, because I think emotional, sad, and happy.
We need some happy to start with the sad and finish.
We'll start with the
sad.
Okay, so I get emotional with like things like end of like series and stuff like that, like television series and stuff like that. And when they play songs at the end of television series, I kind of get emotional with them. So "Come Join the Murder" by who the heck was Sons of Anarchy closing theme song, closing song, end of the series song. It's by the the White Buffalo, I guess is what they call them. And it was the end scene was just like, and the end scene was just like, wow, I can't believe it ended that way. And it just made me sad. Every time I hear it, I just get sad about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get so sad about that. The other one was "Blackbird" by the Beatles, and that was one because that was one that was played live at a friend's father's funeral. I think I mentioned that in one of our earlier podcasts, but they had a live singer come in and play it, and that was just one of the ones. Just every time I just get emotional. I actually start crying every time when I hear that one. Like you would think that I would get emotional for other deaths and stuff like that. This one just always hits me. I don't know why. Happy ones. I'll start with the first one. Just for whatever reason, "I'm So Happy" by Pharrell Williams actually gets me happy.
That's another one Emily likes.
Yeah, I love that song. It's such a great song. It's just such an upbeat song and everything like that. And the other one kind of is the love theme from The Godfather, "Speak Softly, Love," by Nino Rota and Carlos Savina. And the reason why I like that is my mom and my dad, that was their wedding theme song when they got married. And my mom passed away 22 years ago, but when I think about that, I think of like happier time for both of them and stuff like that. And it just makes me smile. I'm just like, like this is a very nice song. And when my dad got married to my mom, they always looked at him as like the Godfather. That's what you looked at him like that. So they always called him the Godfather back then. But yeah, I mean, and they use that as a wedding song, as the first dance.
So were you weren't obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, maybe they got married after you were born, but were that they just told you that and you just always knew it?
Well, I asked my dad that question probably a few years ago because I never knew that, and then he handed me their wedding tape, and he had.
Oh wow!
He goes, oh, if you want to watch, here you go, and it's a.
How old was that?
1974, maybe.
Wow!
I want to say.
Wow! Yeah. I was gonna say that's. Yeah. Wow. My parents got married. Well, my mom and my stepdad was like 78, but there's no video of it.
I couldn't believe it. It was like a traditional, like a half American, half Ukrainian wedding, but like the reception was all like Ukrainian type of stuff, except for the Godfather theme song.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's New Jersey, so a little on brand, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that was the Blackbird. It reminded me of Let It Be, which is another one that gets me because I sang that at my dad's funeral. I wanted to sing Imagine because he was a huge John Lennon fan, and then my stepmom asked me if I could sing Let It Be, and I said yeah. And then there's the line where he says, "And though they may be parted, there is still a light." That I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but they may be parted. And then when that line hit, I just lost it while I was singing, and I still every once in a while, if I'm thinking about my dad, I had a bad relationship with my dad growing up, but it got very good, when we were adults. So, or when I was an adult, I should say. Well, I should say because he was a kid when he had me, and that's part of the problem. All right, there we go. So we go from emotional to misunderstood. So Jeff, you were all gung ho on this.
I was.
Yeah. Let's bring it back.
Really brought the room down, Paul.
Now,
not misunderstood lyrics, but misunderstood songs. Correct? I did get that.
And it's not like I heard it wrong. Me, it was more
the most misunderstood to me is it's a song by Bobby Hebb. I've referenced it on the show before, called "Sunny," which was written the day after, there were like 48 hours where there were two tragedies. John F. Kennedy got shot, and Bobby Hebb's brother got stabbed outside of a nightclub in Nashville. And people think it's a happy song, damn it. It's like, no, it's a song about resilience in the face of pain. But it's also used to be the most covered song ever. Like, every single person with one of these 60s or 70s variety show covered it, up to like Frank Sinatra, Sonny Bono, all these other people. And it's like, it's not a happy song necessarily, guys. Judy in Disguise by, who is it? It's John Fred and his Playboy Band is one of those songs that everybody thinks has deep, like, sexually charged lyrics, and it doesn't. It's based on him mishearing the title of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew it.
And he thought it was Lucy in Disguise with Diamonds. And so they wrote this song and just put a bunch of nonsensical lyrics in there to make it actually sound good.
So what was the song? Was it Judy in Disguise?
Yeah, Judy in Disguise.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess goes Judy in Disguise with glasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I had a third one. I can't think of it right now, so I'll let somebody else go while I think.
So I think the obvious one is, at least I think it's obvious, and probably maybe everybody knows it. Born in the USA.
Yeah.
Which people, think of as like
right one, exact one I had on my list.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like, it's supposed to, like, people think of it as patriotic, and it's used as a patriotic song, but it's really like a protest song. Like, where
like
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Vietnam. Fortunate Son was too.
Yeah. That was another one. Even
but the third one I had on my list was The Way by Fastball.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. I didn't even think about
which
that
everybody
one.
thinks is about a young couple, but it's based on a story about an elderly woman who had just had like a brain tumor taken out, and her husband who has Alzheimer's, and they just go out on a drive.
Oh,
and they don't even know where they're going. And they were found. They were picked up. They were reported missing by their kids.
Wasn't that the video too for them too? If I remember correctly.
I believe so. I don't remember the video.
Now, is that the one that was like, it was actually like sampling a song from like the 1920s, or am I thinking of something else?
No, I think you're thinking of Primitive Radio Gods.
Oh, maybe,
with
maybe.
with standing in a phone booth with like 25.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
does
yeah,
BB
yeah,
King
yeah, yeah.
or something.
That's yeah. So the other one I had was "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees, which it's like it's this up tempo, like disco dance song or whatever. But if you actually listen to the lyrics, it's like it's a pretty dark song. Like it's this guy who is like it's a drug addict who's like just trying to survive on the streets of New York, and well, now I get low and I get high, and if I can't get either, I really try. Get the wings of heaven on my shoes. I'm a dancing man. I just can't lose. Like it's like I mean they kind of jazz it up a little bit, but it's really like kind of a dark song. But then they put this disco beat behind it. And now everybody doesn't remember it that way, but it actually fits well with the theme of the movie, which is a pretty dark movie. If you watch it, I don't think a lot of people have seen it, especially in now, but it's a great movie. I just watched it not that long ago, and I've
never seen it. I need to watch it.
It's not what you'll be expecting, and then the sequel is probably more what you'd be expecting. The sequel is garbage,
yes.
But and then I had another one, and like Jeff, it escapes me. So if I think of it, I'll mention it. But Seb, do you have any?
Yeah, so I know that this is Mona's favorite film, and she's listening right now. So, "Love Song" by Sara Bareilles, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Sara Bareilles.
It is literally written as a song for. Oh, you're right there, Dan. Your lights went off for a second.
Yeah, no, it hasn't pop up on my thing.
Nice. So it was a song written for her record label just because they wanted her to write a love song, and so the whole thing is just basically about, well, no, I'm not going to write you a love song, and then it turned into like everybody thinking it's about a relationship and what's going on with that. So that was completely misunderstood. My favorite, and it's one of my favorite songs of all time, is "Hey Ya" by Outkast. That song is about breaking up, and it is constantly played at weddings, and it is a happy jam. It was huge in the clubs back when I was young and cool, and so go out there, and I would listen to the lyrics, so I knew that it was very depressing, yet it was phenomenal. But the funny thing is, when they play it at weddings, they say nothing lasts forever, but what makes love the exception. And it's like, well, you shouldn't be playing that at your wedding, because it's talking about love not actually lasting forever. And what a farce it is when you have to break up with somebody. So fantastic song, one of my favorites ever, but most people don't get that one.
Yeah, there's quite a few songs like that. I actually was just thinking about the actually it was early. I think it was my third song. Is "Afternoon Delight," and it's not even so much that people don't get it, but it's like I always think of that scene from Arrested Development, the TV show,
with Maeby
with Maeby and Michael, Michael, not George Michael, it's Michael, right? Yeah, Jason Bateman, and they're up there singing it in karaoke, and halfway through the song they realize what they're singing, and it's an uncle and a niece. Yeah.
On the Sara Bareilles kick, Skinner's "Give Me Back My Bullets" is about getting hits back on the radio. It's not about guns or anything.
That maybe another topic for another day, but songs where like probably the artist almost regrets having done it, even though it's like their most successful thing you know them for. There's probably a ton of those, and "Love Song" sounds like it might be one of those, because it's the only song anybody knows by Sara Bareilles. Dan, what about you?
So "Born in the USA" is obviously one of them. We mentioned it earlier. "Every Breath You Take" by the Police. Everyone thinks it's a big romance song. It's actually a song about obsession and stalking. Apparently Sting went out there and said, "I'm surprised people didn't get that. Like, people think it's a big romance song." And Sting actually said, "I'm surprised people didn't understand that this is a stalking song." So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, right, yeah, I forgot about that. And "Hotel California" by the Eagles. A lot of people think it's about like a mysterious hotel, but it's really about excess, temptation, and entrapment. So I thought that was quite interesting to learn that this week too, because I did not know that. So I was like, oh, I actually thought this was like somebody taking a drive out to a mysterious hotel, but no, it wasn't. It had a much hidden, deeper meaning about that. So yeah.
I think another stalking one that people don't realize the stalking one is "I Will Survive" by Gloria Gaynor.
Oh,
right. I if I'm not mistaken, like because I've heard it done in a slowed down version, and that's when you really pick it up. Like it was more like it's the victim of the stalking as opposed to the actual stalker. So Sting is the stalker. That might be her response to Sting. Okay, so we got about 5 minutes left, and Jeff will get to his homework, but I'll just run down my albums that I listened to this week. I think I started with Frampton Comes Alive, which is like a classic, probably one of the most famous live albums of all time. Wings at the Speed of Sound by Wings. I'm like the only person in this room and probably in the world that loves Wings, but I enjoyed that one quite a bit. Presence by Led Zeppelin, which was fine, but nothing tops like Led Zeppelin 3 in my opinion. Black and Blue by the Rolling Stones, which is one of their lesser known albums. It only had one single on it, and I mean it was fine. It was a Stones album, but not great. Breezin' by George Benson, which baffles me that this was a number one album. Like it's just a bunch of jazz. I mean it's fine, but and then
just a bunch of jazz.
Yeah, I mean literally that's what it was. It
was
like,
but the way you said it, it was like just a bunch of jazz.
But it was the top of the Billboard at top 100. Like it surprised me.
Smooth jazz back then.
I guess,
come on.
And then Fleetwood Mac's self-titled album, which is not their debut, it was like their 10th album, but this album was great. And we talked a little bit about it in our chat, and that was my favorite of the week for sure. I loved Fleetwood Mac. It's got Rhiannon, Landslide, a couple other big songs on there. But
Monday Morning.
Yeah, Monday Morning was the one that I hadn't heard in a while that I really liked. I think that was the one. It was the lead track, right?
World Turning is on that one too.
Yeah, Monday Morning was the one, and then Warm Ways was apparently a big hit in the UK, but not here. And Say You Love Me was the big hit that I didn't mention. Yeah. So, all right, Jeff, what do you got for our homework?
Well, before I give homework, Seb has to give his review of Anne of Green Gables.
Oh shoot, yeah. Yes. So which daughter was that? Scarlett?
So it was Scarlett. She played for a packed house in Barrie, Ontario, which is
awesome.
Yes, about an hour north of Toronto and the home of several WWF house shows back in the day. She played Moody McPherson. This is very shameful because Anne of Green Gables is one of the great Canadian works, and I've never read any of the books. I have not seen, I think I saw the movie when I was younger, but I didn't remember any of it. There's all sorts of shows, Road to Avonlea, Anne with an E, which was huge on Netflix, and also the books and the shows are huge in Japan. So I feel like I should have known more about it, but she was in the show. She did 2 hours and 45 minutes, so it was her first pre-professional show. It was absolutely wild because, I think that she's fantastic because she's my kid, but I didn't know that she had that much in her, so it was great to see her go through the performance.
And these are 12-year-olds, right?
She just turned 13 a couple weeks ago. Yeah. But the cast did have adults in it as well. Because it was a pre-professional show, so they did have adults in there, and I would highly recommend going to see it. Just the songs were fantastic, so if anybody has a production going on in their town, definitely worth seeing. Huge amount of references to the East Coast, which was entertaining because PEI doesn't get enough love. And talking about Halifax being the big city, which was fantastic. So it was a great performance and a great night out. So,
well, that's awesome. Scarlett, if you're listening, well done. You made your dad proud. Remind me of seeing my daughter doing Footloose, and I had never seen the movie Footloose at the time. So it's probably a similar experience. And then she ended up getting a scholarship to a theater camp after that.
That is awesome.
So, yeah. Okay, Jeff, homework. And thanks, Seb.
Well, it leads into the homework,
which
is why I did that.
Oh, musicals?
We are going out of our comfort zone.
That's okay.
To musicals.
You know how many musicals I listened to when I started this project in 1947? of number one albums. So.
Although I wanted to do something with an added degree of difficulty, and I don't know if we can. But I want, if you can find one, listen to the Broadway recording, and then if they made a movie version of the musical, listen to the movie version.
Okay,
and
so
tell me what you think of the differences.
So are you giving us any? Can we pick anything we want?
You can pick anything you want. I will give examples. I think I might do The Wiz.
Okay.
Because I've never listened to the Broadway version of The Wiz. I only know the movie version, which is a little bit different.
There's a few. There's Grease, West Side Story.
Jesus Christ Superstar is on there too, which is a good one. I think Les Mis might count with the recent
Mary Poppins.
The recent version.
Is a good
Dude,
one.
I might choose Wicked. It's so
Tommy
recent.
is up there too.
Sound of Music.
Tommy, Wicked.
Sound of Music is another one.
Okay, so there's plenty to.
There's lots, and trust me, they're all out there because when I was doing my thing of number one albums, I was constantly accidentally listening to the wrong one, and then I would have to find the right one, because And then the movie will usually add a song or two in there, or replace a song here and there, and I want you to tell me whether or not it made it better or worse. Sure. All right. Well, that sounds fun. All right, so we hit our hour, and I always tell people we won't get to 101. So, for Jeff, for Dirty Dan, for Seb, I've been Paul Fontaine, and this has been the Music Nerds Podcast. Later, everybody.